This video will cover an existential dilemma that emerges if one pushes the atheistic worldview to its limits. Enjoy. So what is atheism and how does it make sense of our existence in the universe? First of all, atheism is defined as a lack of belief in gods. This video will not be responding only to atheism per se, but also to another belief that is commonly found in their rationalistic worldview, which is materialism, or the belief that nothing exists except for physical matter. That being said, what is atheism? The reason atheism is most commonly defined as a lack of belief in God rather than a belief that there is no God is because one cannot disprove the existence of a God the same way one cannot disprove the existence of a unicorn in another galaxy. It would be ridiculous to present the case that there is a unicorn in another galaxy because we cannot prove that it doesn't exist. This is because our understanding of reality is defined by what we know rather than what we don't know. If all I can measure is the material world, then there is no reason to believe that anything exists beyond it until I have proof that there is. Keeping this in mind, let's look at what happens once we die. If there is no proof of anything beyond the material, then consciousness must be a product of our bodies, which is then in turn a product of the physical universe. If consciousness isn't tied to a soul, then once we die, we are gone from this reality forever, because who I am is just a clump of cells, and this unique body cannot be reproduced. Furthermore, if all we know about consciousness so far is that it depends on a physical vehicle to exist, then existence after death falls into the same category as God. There is no evidence that there is existence after death, and based on the knowledge that life requires a physical body, there is no reason to believe that anything exists after we die. So once we die, we must assume that we are most likely in a state of nothingness for the rest of eternity. If we are alive for only about 100 years maximum and then we cease to exist for the rest of eternity, then nothing we do really matters. Even if I live a life so spectacularly well that every human being in the world that comes after me is positively impacted, the reverberation of my life can only last as long as humanity lasts. For the sake of argument, let's say my amazing life creates a positive impact for the next 1,000,000 years. 1,000,000 years is less than a second in comparison to eternity. No matter how much good I do in my life, it will always be hardly significant when compared to the infinitely larger period of time that I will spend being dead. You may be asking now, if nothing we do matters in the bigger picture, then why not just make the most out of the life we've been given and accept death gracefully? To which I would say the rational interpretation of life doesn't justify life. Good things in life do not simply occur naturally and stay that way. They must be constantly maintained through discipline and good conduct. Suffering, on the other hand, comes free to all of us regardless of how you conduct yourself in this life. If you do not constantly strive to keep things tolerable for yourself, your life automatically degenerates into suffering. The fact that we must struggle against existence to create a good life is evidence that the likelihood of something bad happening is naturally higher than the likelihood of something good happening. And even if you make the required sacrifices to create a good life, there is no guarantee that you will be rewarded. Even more, some people are born into or find themselves in situations where no amount of sacrifice will ameliorate their suffering. So even if your life is currently enjoyable, the odds are stacked against you that your life will be a burden of some sort, which leads me to my final point. If our current life is a burden and no amount of goodwill will make a significant mark in comparison to our eternal fate, then what is the reason to stay alive as an atheist? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.